FARAJ Kids.
Hassan sat quietly in class, listening intently to the lesson. But something didn't quite make sense to him. He whispered to himself, "It just doesn't add up." A little louder than he intended. His classmate Aslam shot him a strange look from a nearby desk. Embarrassed, Hassan mouthed, "Sorry," before focusing on the board where Mr. Hamid had written in large letters, "The sun behind the clouds." Hassan's mind was spinning with questions. How can the Imam be in occultation? How can the Imam be in ghaiba and still be compared to the sun behind the clouds? He wanted to ask, but was afraid his friends might laugh or mock him. Slumping in his seat, Hassan decided to stay silent and waited for the class to end. Okay, let me think this through. Every Imam was present and people could meet them, speak to them, and get their questions answered. But Imam Mahdi is in ghaiba, so how can he help if he's not here? How can someone who isn't here help us? It just doesn't make sense. Hassan continued to puzzle over it in his mind. The bell rang. It was the end of class. Hassan grabbed his bag and dashed out. It was Monday, his favorite day. Monday was the day his father walked him to the library. These moments were very special, as his father was often away traveling for work, but he always made time for the Monday walks. As soon as Hassan ran out of the school gates, he spotted his father smiling warmly at him. Hassan pushed through the crowd of students, trying to make his way towards his Baba. "Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Oh, didn't mean to," he mumbled as he squeezed past his classmates. "Baba, you're here!" Hassan exclaimed excitedly. His father laughed. "Well, salamun alaikum to you too." "Oh, sorry, Baba," Hassan mumbled. "I should have greeted you first. I would have gotten more thawab then." His father chuckled. "How was school today?" It was okay, I guess," Hassan answered. His Baba looked at him. "Is something bothering you?" Hassan hesitated, then said, I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I don't understand. How about you tell me what's troubling you and we'll try to figure it out together," his Baba said. Hassan began. "Today my teacher talked about Imam Mahdi's ghaiba and said something about him being like the sun behind the clouds. But how can Imam Mahdi be in ghaiba and still help us if we can't see him? And I don't really get the sun behind the clouds thing either." His Baba smiled gently. "Let's start with what you understand about ghaiba." "Well, the Imam isn't here, right?" That's where your understanding needs to change." So Baba explained to him, "Ghaiba doesn't mean that the Imam isn't here with us. It just means that we can't see him. He lives among us, knows what we're going through, and sometimes, who knows? You might even pass him without recognizing him." Hassan's eyes widened as a light bulb went off in his head. "So the Imam is with us even though we can't see him?" "Exactly," his Baba said. "Do you want to hear a story about how the Imam can help us even in ghaiba?" "Yes, please." Hassan loved hearing stories from his Baba. His Baba began. In the time of the scholar Allama Hilli, there was a scholar who wrote a book against the Shia. He would read from the book in public, but never let anyone copy it because he didn't want anyone to write an answer to his book. Allama Hilli, being his student, asked to borrow the book. Because he was his student, the scholar agreed, but he said, "I can only give it to you for one night." Allama Hilli took the book home and he wanted to spend the whole night copying the book so that later he could write an answer to it. But as night came, Allama Hilli became very tired and he fell asleep. During the night, Imam Mahdi came to Allama Hilli and said, give me the book and you go to sleep." When Allama Hilli woke up the next morning, to his surprise, the entire book had been copied out for him. The Imam had helped him complete his work. And with this help, Allama Hilli was able to write an answer to the book and defend the Shia faith. Hassan listened in awe. "Wow, Baba, so Imam Mahdi helped him?" "That's right," his Baba said. "Just like the sun behind the clouds is still shining, the Imam is with us, guiding and helping us, even though we may not be able to see him. We just have to ask for his help." As they neared the library, Hassan gazed down at the pavement, deep in thought. Finally, he looked up at his Baba and said, "Baba, I now understand. The Imam is with us, helping us. All I have to do is ask." His Baba smiled proudly. "Exactly, and that's the lesson for today. Never hesitate to ask for the Imam's help. He is always there."